Okay, greetings. I'm not sure if I understand how this works, and so we're going to plug away at it until we can figure it out. At the moment, I can't see any comments or anybody on here, just because I don't know what I'm doing. So it might be a one-way for a little bit, and then as I learn, we can do another. Anyway, yeah. So I think I'm supposed to wait for a few minutes for people to show up, but then if I wait, I think it'll be too long before I start telling you what I want to tell ya. I don't know if you can see this. I'm starting my little tequila, pinched tequila shots. There's some from before. These were turned on the wheel. Cute little things. People seem to like them, so I'll keep making them. To be honest with you, I'm making them for future tequila adventures and also for the past too. My sister and I, well, it's not the past, it was past her birthday, and coming up we are to go and have a tequila drink, not shots, drinks, because tequila's for sipping apparently. And so I made these ones for that event, gave her some, and now I'm just gonna make some more. We could tie that into self-care if you wanted to. Yeah, just the elephant in the room. Let's talk about that. The world is upside down. Okay, so I'm gonna have to do this. Hi, Teresa. Okay, so I'm gonna have to do that every time because I don't know how to connect my phone. I thought I did. Phone to the computer. So if you have questions, I'll have to squint and look at you really closely. Yeah, so self-care in this crazy time, upside down world, world weirdness, and all the toilet paper people. I think for me, a lot of the time, what you don't do is good for self-care. Like, don't turn on the news. And maybe don't stay in the room if somebody you know and love loves the news, like my love loves the news. I'm not throwing him under the bus. He knows he loves the news. Yeah, he watches it a lot, and sometimes I have to check out from that. There's that, and then one of the things that I always try and remember to do, because we're in Alberta, especially where it's so cold. I'm so glad it's supposed to warm up now, but it's been cold. And when it's cold, you hunch up, like you're hunching like this, and when you're on the computer, you're hunched like this, and with stress, it ends up here. And so one of the things that is recommended is just to throw your arms up. We don't do that enough. Stretch. And then the third thing, one of my favorite things, is breathing. And I know it sounds kind of ridiculous because breathing is essential and it really help it. But when I was in my permaculture course in BC, one of my favorite people that was in our class was Bill, and he was a soldier in Afghanistan, doing some pretty neat things to help kids learn how to play a game. And every morning we were sort of encouraged to come up with things that are, well, that's my light. My light's on a sensor. I gotta switch my sensor. Hold on. As I wave frantically here. Yeah, so one morning he offered up a little exercise that they do when they're under fire. So you can just imagine being shot at. This is what you can, you're not going to remember too many decent exercises. So what his recommendation is, breathing 7 seconds in, 7 seconds hold, and 7 seconds out. As simple as that. Yeah. I think we all need a little bit of sanity and calm and peace. And so I was thinking the other day, what can I offer my community? And my community, not tequila. I'm not going to offer tequila. I'm just adding some water to this because I made them earlier and they're cracking. I've canceled my kids classes and my adult classes. I had 2 different adult classes and 1 kid class going on, and I just, over this last weekend, I don't know, guys, this last weekend was really rough because I think it was then that my brain actually did the switch from, is this something that we have to pay attention to? I kept saying it's the flu. It's like the flu. It's like, why are we overreacting with the toilet paper and the government and then it was just the other day that I heard Italy had 2,000 deaths, has had, from this illness and just all of the accumulative stuff. So part of that reality is that, yeah, I guess we should hunker down and pay attention to that isolation. I hate that terminology, by the way. Yeah. I don't think we should isolate. I think we should be more connected. And anyway, yeah, so my offering for the community is this online kids classes. Well, I started off thinking kids classes, but I think it could really grow from there. I've actually been considering doing some of that for some time now. I've been looking into it, and I've been a little shy to get on camera. And I'm glad that there's, what is there, 2 of you? 1 of you? I'm glad that you're here. But I am also glad that I don't really feel shy about this. I think that it's a necessity. Art's really good for the nerves. It's good for the soul. And I know it's kind of cliche to say that, but it's really important that we do the things that we can right now so that the insanity out there can maybe be a little less in here. And so this class that I want to offer, or I'm calling it my faraway clay play project. The thinking is that you can pick up some clay. Okay, how am I going to say it? Instead of coming here, I want folks to be able to do it at home. And there's a couple of benefits to that, actually, that I'll get into later. But one of the way I want to approach it is to have you pick up some clay from my doorstep. And do you hear that? The electrician's trying to be so quiet. I don't know if that's noisy, but he's been working hard to get out of this space all day. But anyway, it sounds like he's not quite done yet. They're gonna feed the wire through the studio wall because it'll go across my ceiling in the studio to the utility room and the utility room, but it's going to my kiln, my kiln shed, which is up in that direction. And then I'll be cooking some pottery really soon. Yeah, so the idea is that you can pick up some clay and you pick up the clay and you get an email and you can, it'll give you some guidelines as to what you need, and then we'll shoot you the email or the video, private video address. I gotta figure all that out yet, but I will, just on YouTube, and we're good to go then. And then I think probably we'll do like one day of let me see your stuff, but that's another technology thing that I might need to figure out, just so that I can see what's happening. There's probably going to be questions. That's one, the downside to being distance is because I don't have you right here and I can't jump on it and say, okay, I want to correct these cracks and high tide. We just got a little bit of a late start. I'm making tequila glasses. That would probably suit you well, wouldn't it? Yeah, just talking about this distance learning style of pottery, which is kind of an interesting prospect. You can either have it shipped. There's lots of people in my community that I'm sure would benefit. That's at Pigeon Lake. Thanks for all the love. Yeah, there's lots of people in my community that would benefit from it. So just running it for that sake was the initial plan. But I think maybe it would be good to ship the clay. I don't think it would cost too much. And as well, I'll ship the underglaze. You can glaze it onto clay that's like this or dry, and then ship those pieces back to be fired, and I'll dunk them in clear and send them back to you. So it's a couple of steps for this process. Yeah. So that's, I guess, I'm still working out the dates. The dates were supposed to be this Tuesday. I'm kind of feeling like I can let go a little bit and not have specific dates. I could have anybody just sign up whenever they want to and at their own leisure send back their pottery, and I'll fire it because I've got lots. See, that stuff is all going in to one of the new kilns. I'm getting 2 kilns. One of them is in the barn, and we're going to test it tonight to see if it even runs, because it was a freebie from a school and it looks really, really old. And then one of them is brand new. The lady I'm buying it from has never fired it. Hi, Sened. I'm just making some tequila glasses. So you gotta tell me, you guys, charming or not. So these ones are so precise and round, and that's what I'm kind of used to, thinking that, it's very neat and tidy. So it's got a little fat belly on it. These, on the other hand, now we're not talking shots here, we're just talking sipping. So I figured a couple inches high. This will probably shrink down 10%, so maybe it'll end up being like this high, but just for a sip. I think that is too rough and rugged. I know your answer, Teresa, is probably you like the hand-built stuff. Really, like, what am I going to do? Just a second, I'm going to turn that on. Oh. Okay, I'm back. I couldn't reach. Okay, you like the hand-built stuff, Ty? This is about the size of ball minus these 3. Obviously, I've been pulling stuff off of it, but I measured out 2 pounds. So these were in this ball of clay. That's what you approximately, maybe a little bit more, that you get for doing one project. So that's the other thing that's kind of cool. Lots of people ask me, can I bring my 5-year-old to class because he wants to be like his 7-year-old brother? Or can I bring my 4-year-old? And I invariably answer no. And it's not because I don't like 5-year-olds and 4-year-olds, it's that developmentally I just find that in a class setting, a 7-year-old does well. 5-year-olds are usually a little lost because they haven't been to school very much. So I feel sad when I say no, because I remember my boys wanting to be together and my daughter always wanted to be in. But I got to hear no too. I asked to. But in this case, you can have all your kids at the table. And if we're doing the first project are very simple, like you could split the clay up as you wish and make mini pieces. The only thing is I ask that you don't make mini pieces, like I'd say 2 or 3, this size, 2 or 3 inches is about the smallest I would go, because please have mercy on the person who is loading the kiln, because that's a lot of work. Those little tiny pieces, kids like to make little tiny pieces, and sometimes parts fall off. And so yeah, if you want to make this something outside of what I'm teaching, you can do that too. That's a little bit of a freedom. But I would just say, if it comes to attaching things, it's good to go through the process of the different projects, because you learn the most simple thing first, and then you learn how to attach things. And this goes for adults too, that, you know, if I did a mug class, we might start with this kind of thing to begin with, so that you learn what the clay does, how it behaves, and then after that you can start learning about attaching things like handles, or if you're making a little beastie, a little dog or something, you can learn how to attach the ear without it falling off in the kiln, which happens unfortunately because kids get enthusiastic and just think they can do this, and it works. Yeah, I don't know if I was clear. Was I clear about how it all works? Some people might want, so if you had more kids, let's say you buy a class, and the way I'm structuring it is there's the 4 different projects. If you do all 4 of them, it's $99. If you do one at a time, I think, did I say $30? I think it's $30. And then if you want to, let's say you had 3 kids and you want them all to have a ball of clay, but you're only paying for the one video, then you buy 3 balls of clay. So those are $5 a piece. And they come with the balls of clay come with the underglaze. What else? Oh, not everybody has access to a piece of plywood, which is what I would recommend. I've got canvas on my work surface, which works great. So if you can get a piece of plywood and staple canvas onto the bottom, it's not very expensive, either one of those things, but you have to buy the half sheet of good one-side plywood, and then you have to buy the canvas, and it should be good one side because it's smooth. So either you're using just the wood, which it sticks a little less to than your kitchen table or counter, or or the canvas, which it's really good. It doesn't stick very much to. And then there'll be the opportunity to buy a kit if you want. I'll just order them and add them to the pile. If you want, you can order your own. I'll just tell you where I'm getting mine. I add on a little bit of money for my troubles. And then I think that's it. Kit, clay, yeah, that's it. So tell me if you want to know anything. I'm sorry for looking. Not just, oh yes, you're right. You're right, Teresa. Not just the kids. This is for adults too. I'm actually, so the classes that I canceled are watercolor for adults. So it's a very loose floral watercolors that I think would have a lot of fun with. And so I need to figure out, it's just been a couple of days since I've thought about this. So I need to break it down and figure out dates and whatever that I'll release the different videos. And then, and how I'll offer that. I think I'll offer that as a one class thing, like one set of classes. So a bunch of videos. And then adult hand building mugs, which I have some here that I built in Teresa's class. So this is a fun one. It's got clay all over it, surprise, surprise. So it's got a little ladybug on it and Teresa's stamps. This is one of the glazes too that, oh no, I guess not. So the hand building mugs, we might have to come here to have a day of glazing. So I'll have this glaze. I'll definitely have that black glaze on the inside. That's a hand-built mug. This was a fun and funky hand-built mug with the 3 feet. And a little, I don't know what to call it, detail. And there's my maker's mark. That detail is under here too. And this is also Teresa's stamp. That's one of my favorite, I think. I like the color. I like the way the glaze went into the stamp. I took a hand building mug class from Teresa because I started hand building and I wasn't quite good at it yet. In fact, I often say I was terrible at it before I got onto the wheel. And when I went onto the wheel, I loved the wheel so much that I kind of left hand building aside, and then decided, I want to teach this, and this is a good accessible way for people to start. So I took Teresa's class. She has just such good results. So obviously I increased my talent on that. Here's another one. That one's kind of fun. These are ones that, if you're interested, these are the kind of things that I've been doing on the wheel. So it's my maker's mark again. It's a little more clear. So how can you register? I'm going to build forms. I haven't done that yet. I want to build the forms all together, the forms for the kids and maybe for the mug one, all together. And then if you want to do them separately, there'll be choices. You can click and choose different ones. There's a wine goblet with 2 of our glazes. This is not hand building, this is wheel built. You can tell because it looks fairly round. Are you talking about this one, Teresa? I love the glaze on that one too. Unless you're talking about, I don't know which one. Oh, this one, maybe. I didn't see when you said that you liked the glaze on that one. this one ran, which I kind of like. I think that's a neat effect. And then I do some of my own, like my artwork on it that is sort of, that's not class material, but it's you know, I sell my art on the side. So this came from a Raven collection. Hi, Bunny. The first one. I don't know which one you were talking about. The first one, the blue one. There's so many. So there's this. This glaze is good. This glaze is good. They're all good. They're all pretty neat. The first hand thrown or wheel thrown one. That glaze is pretty neat. Just in case you're interested, that's old blue, white, and then green, I believe. Seafoam green. Hi, Catherine. Thank you. Those were just, I was just showing everybody mugs from a hand-built course, but also my own. Like, I don't know how to distinguish that. They're all my own. I don't know how to say. These ones are ones that I sell. And these ones are kind of ones that maybe I'll sell, but they're like, I would consider them sort of demos for the class, the mug building class, for which, I'll say again, you can do in distance learning now. So I'm going to add in the comments, I'll save this video, and in the comments below that, I'll add my website. You're on my Facebook page, so for those who are watching this, I'll also put this on YouTube and maybe share it to another page. So I'll put my own Margot Soltis Barnstable Corner. That's my Facebook page for my business, and I could add I'll just add all the things, and that way we'll cover our bases. And mostly on my website, and probably on my Facebook page, which sometimes gets buried, I'll pin it to the top of the page for a while, the link to the form or forms for the different classes. This is another one. That's raspberry. So this is speaking to different people's tastes. My daughter came in and she said, "Oh, I really like that color." And I was showing it to her this way, and then I turned it around. She said, "I don't know if I like that drippy stuff so much, but that's what I like. I like it when you get some blending of the glazes." Happy accidents, which is, I guess, the epitome of pottery. Everything's a happy accident, or uh-oh, what happened there? That's often the case too. Yeah, you know what, Teresa? I think there's a delay in the when you type and when it comes up, or maybe there's a delay in when I say something and then I look. That's probably more like it. Anyway, I don't know how much more I have to say, other than yeah, the self-care thing is super important right now. I don't know how are you guys giving yourself self-care? People with babes at home, that's got to be, those of you who are homeschool, you're used to it. It's like, welcome to the nightmare. No, welcome to the rodeo, not the nightmare at all. that was a slip of the tongue. Yeah. Well, I want to show you around my studio, but I think that might be for the next time. And in the meantime, I'll show you when I fire these and when I glaze them, and then you can see how they come out. I'll do that in future live videos because I think I'll do this more. So, nice having you here, you guys. sometimes a nightmare. Yeah, it really quite is. Yeah. So, okay, well, you guys have a great day.